Olá, tudo bem? Sejam muito bem-vindos ao canal Marco Leal. Hoje temos uma entrevista exclusiva com Tyler Roberts, o apresentador do canal Total Disclosure. Conversamos sobre a recente onda de avistamentos de OVNIs e drones na costa oeste dos Estados Unidos. Tyler, que mora na região, também compartilhou informações de conversas que teve com moradores de Nova York e Nova Jersey. Além disso, ele esteve presente na última audiência no Congresso Nacional dos Estados Unidos sobre os fenômenos anômalos não identificados. Nos trouxe informações sobre as discussões que ocorreram. Vamos à entrevista. All right, here I am here with Tyler Roberts, and it's a very pleasure to have you here on my channel. And I thank you to accept my invitation to we talk a little bit about these crazy things that is happening in US right now.
Mm.
So you can introduce yourself here,
Yeah,
right here.
thank you. Thank you for having me again. I'm the host of Total Disclosure podcast based in the United States, out of um, out of Boston, and I also um, am a filmmaker and I like to write. So I always considered myself a bit of a journalist as well. However, I don't do that as much as obviously the podcast and you know um, making my first documentary right now actually. So it's uh it's pretty crazy like you said with the drones cuz I mean, I'm on the East Coast myself and you know um I know members of Congress. I've asked members of Congress. I've asked um pilots. I've asked residents of New Jersey, of New York. I've talked to pretty much everybody you can talk to, and nobody knows what's really going on. And then the Pentagon, the White House, they just keep telling us that nothing is going on. So there's a big divide between what we're seeing in the news and then what we're being told is the reality of the situation.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible because here in Brazil now there's a lot of noise that's going on our media about these things, and for sure we're gonna talk about this more. And I would like to you tell us, Tyler, like how did you became interested in the UFO phenomenon?
Well, I have always I think I've always been interested in things the that the human race didn't understand. What happens after we die? Like these big questions. Are we alone in the universe? I've always really gravitated towards those kind of conversations, those thoughts, um, those journeys, and that type of, whether it's in um, something I want to read, I always gravitated towards, books that had UFOs or things like that because it's I mean, it's like I said, it's part of the human condition, right? We wonder, are we alone in the universe, right? We and I had a sighting when I was younger, and I was in my front yard, and I was very young. I was in school still. My mother used to do this thing, and she sometimes she would say, "Hey, do you want to stay home from school?" And I would say, yes or no, depending on the day. This time I said yes. And I stayed home from school and we hung out. But then I went outside and I was throwing a tennis ball at the wall. And as soon as I go to throw, I'm looking up into the sky. And this circular craft is spinning, but moving forward right over my head, about this treetop level, very close, the classic flying saucer. And I grew up next to a an Air Force base. So I was very familiar with what planes, jets, and helicopters commercial flights, what those all looked like and sounded like. And this thing made no noise. It went right over my head. I chased it into the backyard. By the time I got to the backyard, it was gone.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So, so this is like, do you remember the year that you saw?
No, this is
No.
because, and it will make sense because I, this memory lay dormant it happened and it lay dormant in my brain for a long time afterwards. Like I kind of moved on, right? I saw it. I started reading about UFOs. I became interested in the topic, but I never look, I know it was there was no snow on the ground. So
Yeah.
it was spring or fall. There was no snow on the ground. Um, I was about 12 or 13 because my mom was
Wow.
still, yeah. So this is probably 17, 18 years ago. Yeah. But
Yeah.
that led me down a path, right? Where I never really, I didn't go to school with shirts that say, I love UFOs and aliens.
I
But
know.
every time a documentary would come out or a movie it would come out, I would watch it. And then as I grew older, I would go to parties. And when you're 18, 19, you're hanging out with your friends. I was always the kid or guy who would be in the corner of the party smoking a little joint, right? With my friends and talking about, could there be alien life out there? So I've always been gravitated towards it. Does that make sense?
Yes, for sure. And like, I would like to know if you read like some books about like Roswell and all the incredible case that you guys have in US.
Yeah, that I
If
remember that was a huge moment for me as a person was when I started reading about UFOs and I got to the age where, I could comprehend. I wasn't just a little kid anymore, but I wasn't an adult. But you kind of have a gauge on things, you understand the world for the most part. Um, I remember reading a book, Philip Corso's The Day After Roswell, and realizing that holy shit, he's not. This isn't fiction. He's writing this like it really happened, and then it all started clicking, right? Everything, and that's when my sighting came back to my head. That's when so many other like the books, like Communion, um, all these things that I thought were might have been fiction or just stories. All of it became a little bit real, a little bit more real. And that changed my whole perspective on the universe.
Oh, that's perfect, Tyler. That's amazing. And like I think you are researching some cases right now. And I remember you told me about some projects that you are
Yes.
filming. And I don't know if you can talk a little bit to us. Um, what are you doing? Like, what's the most impressive cases that you are
Oh,
shooting right now, or you shooted?
yeah. I mean, this has to do with the um, the drones as well. Um, not the broader sense of it, the term drone. They're calling them UAPs or unmanned aerial vehicles, um, and they're being seen over sensitive facilities, right? So there's clearly a pattern that's emerging, and we've known this for some time that there's a connection between nuclear technology, and UFOs, right? So, a case that has really been at the forefront of my mind lately, and it for good reason, is the Bob Salas 1967 Malmstrom Air Force Base case. And that is uh, on the morning of it was a March morning, evening into morning. Um, a nuclear control, so nuclear weapons bases. You know, the guys that turn the key. So if the president calls and says we need to launch a nuclear weapon, then it goes down a chain of command, right? They would call this military base and they would say, okay, we're striking wherever, right? Then there has to be two people, they turn the keys, and then that um begins the launch of the nuclear weapon. Well, Bob Salas was one of those guys that would turn the key if the president called. So he was working that night and a call came in from the top because he's underground, like 20 stories underground, I believe. So very far underground. And a call comes in from the guard at the top of, you know, doing the perimeter. And the guard is saying, "Sir, I don't know what to do, but we have our weapons drawn. There's a glowing red craft hovering over the base. What should we do?" And Bob thought it was a joke or it didn't take it seriously. So he said something along the lines of, call me when something serious happens, or he didn't take it seriously, but he hung up the phone, right? Couple seconds later, the phone rings again. It's that same guard. He's now yelling, like frantic, and he's screaming into the phone. There is something that has now breached the base and it is hovering over the nuclear missile silos where the the rockets come out of, basically.
Yeah.
As he's saying this, Bob turns to go get his superior officer, or the commander of the base, and all the nuclear weapons just go down. Now these things are analog.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're not connected to each other. So say this is one missile and this is one missile. They're not wired together so that if this one goes down, this one can still go if need. So all 10 of them went down. So something shut them off.
Wow.
And
Incredible.
well, you've heard about this case, right?
Yes, I did, and actually, we had a chance to have Robert Salas here in Brazil, and he came here, and he was in the federal police. I don't know what happened. They didn't let him come to, like, you know.
The cases that you guys have, and the way, I mean, the Varginha case, it's still, it still rattles me. I mean, because
Yeah.
that case has everything. It has everything. And just the I remember when Moment of Contact came out, it really it changed me. So
Wow.
you had a big part of that. And what Moment of Contact did for me was it lit a fire under my ass and it made me want to get up and instead of just sitting on the computer, on Twitter, talking about, no change is happening. Well, get out there and try to make a difference, right?
Yeah.
Get
Yes.
up, get up and do something about it. That testimony with Military X is still probably one of the best moments in movie history.
Yeah, for me too. It's my favorite section of the movie because it was very hard. I mean, but like the story that you were telling us about Robert Salas, that he lived, you know. And I remember I had a chance to meet with Colonel Charles Hout, the Colonel Charles Hout, that told us about
The
the
Bentwaters case. The
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it was
The Rendlesham
amazing, was
Forest
incredible.
incident is that I mean that one's a wild one because I mean everything that happened with um God, I'm blanking on his name right now. I would never do this ever. The the there was Jim Peniston and who's the other guy? Well, the other
Uh,
guy he had a lot of problems with his
oh,
skin conditions and stuff like that. And the government tried to say that he wasn't in the military, and they denied him
yes,
VA um like access health insurance.
yes.
So
I forgot his name too because I remember I had the opportunity to speak with Gary Helsenstein, who he was doing, I think, a documentary about the Harris Ford case, and he was talking about, I think it's Larry. No, Larry, the name of the
no,
guy. I
no.
don't remember actually.
So there's clearly like so with the Malmstrom incident, right? That that
Yeah.
that's that is one incident where nuclear weapons were turned off. They took they did an inspection on each of the weapons. They found nothing wrong with them. Nothing.
Hmm.
No
Yeah.
no damage, no nothing. And there was then some years later, George Knapp, after the fall of the Soviet Union, George Knapp went to Russia. The KGB opened up some of the files of the Soviet Union's UFO files, and George Knapp got his hands on a case that took place in a Ukrainian launch facility, where instead of them turning the nuclear weapons off, they turned them on.
Wow. Wow.
So
Yeah, I didn't know about this. Yeah.
for a
Wow.
couple minutes for a couple minutes they thought they were going to trigger the end of the world because that would have been the end of it. That would have been World War III, right? Nuclear Armageddon.
Yes.
And
Yes. Oh,
so
yeah.
what does that tell you, Marco? What does that Bob says it they're clearly sending a message. That
Yes.
message,
Yes, exactly. I believe they are watching us, like my opinion, and for sure it's hard to say so many things that is going on right now. And actually I don't know what to think about these drones. I know there's maybe some people are confusing because I see that there's a lot of civil drones that is flying, and a lot of people is they are filming something that it is our drones. For
yes.
sure we have also the other ones that we don't know what they are, but there's so many that we can probably explain.
That's what we have to that's what we have to do is we have to we will we need to understand that we are going to see videos of prosaic objects and we're going to be able to explain them. And then you know what? Put it to the side. But then there are videos that I've seen from this thing that
Yeah.
don't not only do they not look like drones, but they don't look
Hmm.
like any craft I've ever seen. So,
Yes.
what is really going on over the fucking East Coast? Sorry for my language.
Yeah, no, for sure. And what are the most shape formats observed, like in drone and UFO sightings in the states of New Jersey and New York? Do you like which one do you? you
like a
thought that it
V.
was really weird. Yeah,
Well, I'd say the
like
most common the most common types of drones that are being seen are these these bigger fixed wing drones that they like I said, they make that V pattern, you know, it almost like that. But but I've seen there was a couple other videos of you're seeing these orbs of like what it looks like plasma.
yeah,
You know what I
like
mean?
plasma.
And and
I
and it,
know,
and it and it's just like hovering and it doesn't move.
Hervey.
And I'm like that is not a drone. That's different.
Yes, it's different. And do you believe some people is saying that this is could be how do I explain as some holographics? You know I don't know how
Yes.
to explain the
Yes.
yeah some
So I don't think
holographic lights or
right like a false flag of some sort. Right?
yes
So projecting
yeah
images of something like they do with like the Chinese drones where they make like cool shapes and stuff and doing
yeah
something like that. I don't think that's the case. Just with the videos I've
me
seen,
too
again, a lot of them do have the red and green blinking light, um, which begs the question if it was China, say it was China or
yeah
Russia or any foreign adversary of the United States, why would they be lighting themselves up,
exactly yeah
right?
that's weird yeah
Right?
exactly
Why would they be like, "Hey, look at me"? Um,
yes
so that's one thing that gives me pause on the whole um it being from some other country. And if it is from some other country, do they think that are we that is the United
yeah
States that incapable of defending itself that China's like, you know what? We don't even need to hide. Just fly them right
yeah
over. Because
mhm.
that's scary if that's true.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly. Yeah, and like, are there specific regions in US, like right now, like we know that we are having this crazy wave right now, but are specifically regions in the US where the UFO sightings are more frequent?
Yeah, I'm gonna say so I'm gonna say that the East Coast is obviously having it's probably having the most sightings of the drones um consistently. Um, I'll tell you that the airport in Boston was shut down a
Yeah,
couple days ago because of
I
drones.
saw that.
Wright Patterson in Ohio was also this, and that's a base everybody knows in the UFO community because we have reason to believe that a lot of the Roswell material and other crash retrieval stuff, that's where it goes. So Wright
Yeah,
Patterson. So they shut down because of drone activity. Langley, Langley in Virginia is one of the most, if not the most secure facility on the face of the planet. And it
wow.
had drones. Now, have you ever flown a drone?
Yes, I did. I am not very good on, but
Okay.
I did.
But 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 you understand that most drones that you can buy from like Amazon or any
Yeah,
company, they have software that's built in. So if you go into like an airport, it won't let you. It will it will
exactly.
it will say this is the airport. It will hit that wall and it will turn
Yeah,
around and it will return to sender or it'll just land right there.
yeah,
So
yeah,
these things are different.
it is. Yeah. I saw the mayor, I think, of New Jersey or the governor of New Jersey, I think, Phil Murphy or something. Yeah. And he
Yes.
was telling that they don't know what it is, and they say to to people don't be afraid. No.
It's the stupidest thing anybody that is in a position like that, if the words we don't know what it is, but don't it's not a threat. If those
Exactly.
two things are in the same sentence, come
It's
on.
crazy.
What what kind of bullshit is that? You don't know what it is, but don't worry, it's not gonna hurt you. That doesn't make any sense.
Yes. Yeah, I remember James. I think he asked something like
The
that
NASA,
with the NASA. Yeah, Billy
yeah.
Nelson.
He said because
Yeah,
Bill
it's
Nelson said, um, yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Bill Nelson said, we don't know what they are, but
yeah,
we're gonna get to the bottom of it or something like that. And James was like,
yeah.
well, if you don't know what they are, how can you say they're not extraterrestrial?
Exactly.
Like
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense. James is so
yeah.
funny,
This
man.
is yeah. He's so funny, and
I've
I'm
been
gonna
texting
share
him a lot.
here. Oh, really?
Yeah.
S- yeah. So did you talk with him i- in in the
So
Congress?
yeah, so that's another thing for your audience is um I went to the UAP hearing on December 13th. So I actually still where's that little piece of paper? I I had a seat that was reserved for me by
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. So when I walked in, I me and press, other press, we got to
Yes.
go in 30 minutes early and kind of get set up and get your camera set up, get your notes set up. And I was standing there, and all of a sudden, to my left is Jeremy Corbell. Right
Wow.
behind me is Danny Sheehan, and then right over here to my right is James Fox. And I was like, "Oh shit, who do I go to first?" Right? Like,
Yes.
um,
That's
but yeah,
amazing.
it was a crazy day, Marco. I wish you could have been there.
Oh yes, me too. I wish so bad.
Did you watch?
I'm good. Yes, I watched it and it was like impressive. I think Tim, the guy from the Navy, I think
Tim
Tim, I
Gaudette,
forgot his name. Yeah, he was amazing for me, when he
probably the best.
wrote, when he read it. Yeah, he's also Elizondo and the other guys too from NASA. It was okay, and I think Mike Challenger or something. Mike
Schellenberger.
Schellenberger, sorry, my
It's
English.
okay. It's okay.
Yes, yes, and but it was amazing. I watched it.
It
All
was a
the
different. It was so
yeah.
remarkable. I actually I can share a video if you want. But
Please,
it
please.
was remarkable to be in the room, and because when you see it on TV, it looks a certain way. Um, when you're in the room, I mean, you can hear a like a pencil drop, right? You
Wow.
it's the
Yes.
it's riveting. It's when they were like when they did the oath, I took a video and I was like, I cannot believe I'm standing here right now. It was surreal, Marco. Like it was surreal. I can't even begin to tell you what the feelings were like because it to 10 years ago, if you had told anybody that they would be having hearings in Congress about UFOs,
Yeah,
we would
that's
have told you
crazy.
you were
Yeah.
nuts. Nuts.
Yes.
But now we've had three.
Yes. No, it is for us. Is incredible. I think you got how do I say goosebumps like there,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know. Yeah,
Let me
me
share
too.
I'm trying to find the video right now. Um
Oh, cool.
but I got to after the hearing, I had a private meeting with the Nancy Mace who chaired that hearing. She was the one at the beginning. She made the statement, and she said, "Come at me, bro." That lady. I had a
Yeah.
private meeting with her after the hearing, and we got Bob Salas was able to brief a sitting member of Congress about his 1967 Malmstrom case. That's why it's been on my mind so much, because that was for me, that was probably the biggest moment that I've ever been a part of. And
I bet.
and it made me think of you, like when you were sitting there with James hearing Military X, that's big. That like you st- you start to feel it, like you're be a part of something big, right?
Yes.
Something bigger than yourself, at least. But
Yeah, it's incredible.
here, can I play a clip from that private meeting?
Please. Oh,
It's
yes. Anything you want.
I just took this one with my iPhone, but I had my other
Yeah.
cameras filming. But this is just it's a quick 2-minute clip. So I just
Oh,
shared it.
cool.
If you bring it up.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There you go.
He said he tried this many, many times. The same thing happened. And he felt they were demonstrating to him that they knew exactly how our systems worked. Exactly.
So
And then it
that makes
left.
sense.
So what was the message? And he put the thing back on service.
Yeah, he got it back up all the way down.
So if there was a message that was being sent to the human race,
Yeah.
what was that?
So the message, I think, because these incidents have happened not only in the U.S. but overseas.
Russia.
In my latest book, I've outlined and told the stories of about 13 similar incidents that happened all over the world, including Russia. And in none of those incidents was any significant damage done to the weapon system. In our case, at Malmstrom, there was no equipment that was fried, nothing was damaged. It was simply an intermittent electrical pulse that was given to a particular part of the guidance system of the missile called the logic coupler. And this was proven by Boeing. Boeing did a bench test on this so-called logic coupler, which is part of the navigation or guidance system of the missile. Without that piece of equipment working properly, the navigation system, the guidance system would not properly work. So the missile shut itself down. That's all that happened.
Yeah.
There was no damage.
Yeah.
The missiles were all brought up, back up on alert within about 24 hours.
Yeah. So what's that tell you?
To me, that says they were sending us a message about nuclear.
Why do you have these?
What's the message?
And WTF would have nuclear weapons.
Drop
Sorry.
them.
Did
Why?
I say something wrong?
No. Drop them.
This is Congresswoman Mace. That's good. You can do that.
Drop them to the bottom of the ocean.
Acronyms here, how about that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. Of course, it's just my opinion.
To be a part of that moment,
Remarkable.
to be a part of it, because now people forget. So that full briefing is on my channel. I uploaded the whole thing. Yeah. So you can see my camera on the other side. I just took this with my iPhone. So the good version of it is up on YouTube. But Bob has been trying to tell the members of Congress or anybody who can, do something about it. He's been trying that for 30 years.
Wow.
30 years.
Yeah.
And he kept this a secret for 20 plus years, even from his wife.
Yeah.
So
Robert.
that's why I think that the next hearing that we have, I think it is going to be, I think Bob is going to be testifying at the next hearing.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. And I think the next hearing is not going to be the same as the others because, one thing that really frustrates people watching the hearings is when someone says, I can't talk about that publicly. I have to do that in a
Yeah.
closed. The guys that we're trying to get to testify, all none of them
Hmm.
would say that those words. They they all testified to Arrow. They all are who they say they are, and they're all very, very well-known people. So in once Trump is sworn in on the 20th of January and things kind of settle down, expect some big news. That's all I'll say. That's the stuff I'm working on with Congress.
Perfect.
So
Like, in general terms, like, what did you think, like, of the testimony president at the U.S. congressional hearings?
lackluster. So
Oh,
I thought it fell short of
yeah,
listen, it was it was um it was amazing, right? It was
yeah,
it was electrifying. It was so fun, but it, we with Elizondo, we know all we know. With that's why I said Tim Gaudette was probably the most interesting, right? Um, I mean, Schellenberger's a journalist, and he had written all he could write in that article anyway about Immaculate Constellation. The guy from NASA, he's not going to say anything. He's not going to. I mean, he was just there because he's from NASA, right?
yeah,
And it solidified that NASA's willing to play ball, at least to a
yeah,
certain degree. I thought the Grush hearing was probably the most significant to date, because of the
yeah,
claims obviously that were made,
hmm,
right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
I think future hearings, they want to go away from that. They don't want to.
hmm,
They don't want that. I can't talk about it. Because these guys, you have to remember Elizondo, Tim Gaudette, all of them. They're playing by DOPSR rules. So the DoD pre-publication office. So Grush Grush will not say anything that is classified because he doesn't want to go to jail. Those aren't
yeah,
whistleblowers, in my opinion. They're just
yeah,
not, right? Because, and not that they're not credible, and not that they're not absolutely um trying to move the needle forward. It's just we need someone who's like, okay, guys, here it is, right?
mhm,
Because as, as
yeah,
as long as long as they can keep it a secret, they're going to.
yeah, exactly. Yes. And like, what was the most surprising allegations made by the authorities during the hearings? Like, for you?
Crash retrievals. Um,
Yeah.
I think I really do think that crash retrievals is going to be how this disclosure thing, whatever you want to call it, um, I think that is the thread. If we keep tugging at it, then we are going to be able to unravel. Because if you follow the money, everyone always says it, right? Follow the money, and it these black programs that exist, and that they're working, that's with the industrial, corporations like the aerospace industry, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Bigelow Aerospace. All these people, they're private corporations that have contracts with the government. Our best bet is to to tug on that crash retrieval and try to get one of these people from inside the aerospace aspect to come out and say, listen, I worked on a UFO. Here's a piece of it, right? That's what we're gonna, because no, we can only show videos and photos and mummies and all that stuff. People in their mind, they just easily say, "Oh, it's fake. It's fake. It's fake." Someone needs to bring something out that can't be denied. Cannot be denied.
Yeah.
So what's it going
Yes.
to be? Is it going to be from the private aerospace companies? Is it going to be the visitors themselves saying enough is enough? We're not waiting anymore. We gave you the chance. You didn't take it. Here we are. Everybody, hi.
Yeah.
Do you think, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that if the people in the UFOs, whoever they are, who there might be
Mhm.
many different, but if even one of them, if they showed themselves to the world tomorrow, do you think that the world is ready?
No, I don't think so, Tyler. Even if we find like the footage of the Varginha creature and you show tomorrow for everybody, nobody, I think a lot of people's gonna, oh, this is bullshit, you know?
Because of AI,
Yeah.
right? Oh, they
Yes,
because
it is.
because in their mind, in their head, they can literally just say to themselves, "Oh, it's fake. It's fake. It's fake." Th- That's why even if the president, like say Donald Trump, right?
Yeah.
If he came out on the stage on January 21st, the day after he swears himself in again, and he says aliens exist, 50% of the country that hates him, they're not going to
Yeah.
believe it just because
Yeah.
he said it, right?
That's
And
true. Yeah.
that's scary to me because if it's if it's so easy, if it's really that easy to 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 for human beings to keep their head in the sand, if it's that easy for us to sweep it under the rug, then maybe we aren't ready, like you said, right?
Yes.
Maybe we
Yeah.
aren't.
And like, what the evidence you find the most convincing that indicates that the existing of the secret information held by the U.S. government? Like, I know there's many. Like, I would like to know what you think.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I
so
think
I
the
know a
most
hard question.
convincing, yeah, the most convincing evidence I have to say is and I know this isn't a popular opinion, but I think some of the materials that so Linda Moulton Howe had some materials and Jacques Vallée has had some materials that when tested, the the isotopic ratios of the metals are not, I forget what case it was from where the UFO was seen and it was like dripping molten metal, like hot
Yeah,
metal, and they they got a piece of it, and when they used Gary Nolan's mass spectrometer, which reads the isotopic ratios of the alloys and other metals that are in something, it showed that they were layered in a very unusual way. Or that might be two different samples, but either way, it's the same thing. The isotopic ratios don't match what we would use on Earth for any reason. It's not that they wouldn't be able to be created, but it would cost like trillions of dollars and it would make no sense to do it just to have it thrown in the middle of nowhere. And maybe somebody comes along and picks it up there's a lot of what ifs to some of that. And it just wouldn't make sense. So some of the materials Dr. Gary Nolan has tested have shown really, really remarkable signatures. And I
Wow.
think that coupled with uh, video evidence, that coupled with eyewitness testimony, so many people saying, they've seen this or that. Not everybody's crazy, right? Not everybody has anything to gain from this. Most people don't, honestly. Most people don't have anything to gain, everything to lose, though. And they come out and
Yeah.
say something like, hey, I saw this, right?
Yeah.
Um, that there is enough evidence that the burden of proof, like Dr. Michio Kaku says, the burden of proof
Yeah.
has shifted from the believer to the non-believer. The non-believer now has to be the one to show me something isn't happening, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I agree with you. Yeah. And like do you have like a favorite case that's a favorite case in that you like, you love, and
I
I
do.
mean,
I do.
really? Can you talk a little bit?
Yeah. So I fell in love, honestly. I'm not saying this just because, but the Varginha case is among it's up there as one of my favorites. Um between Varginha and Ros because Roswell is ah Roswell's Roswell. There's so much BS that has been spread that, like, Roswell, yes, obviously it's a case that's very interesting, right? It probably happened, but there's so much disinformation out there that it's really hard to tell what's real, what's not. So Roswell's never been one of the cases that I loved. I really, really love the Whitley Strieber case. I love the Varginha case. Um, the Rura Zimbabwe case, the Ariel School, um,
Yeah.
and then a personal, th- because I live in Massachusetts. There's a case that's very close, the Betty and Barney Hill abduction.
Yeah. Oh
That
yeah, that's a
that
classic.
that one has a special place in my heart. But I'll tell you, and this is a little bit of a breadcrumb. People might understand in the future if they ever watch this after the fact. But a case I've been looking a lot into is Pascagoula.
Oh yes, I heard about it.
Calvin Calvin
Yeah.
Parker and Charles Hickson. Look,
And Charles Hickson.
so every book,
Whoa.
every book that's been written,
Damn.
every book that's been written about Pascagoula, I have here. And
Wow, really? It's
yes,
all of them. That's
yes.
amazing. Wow.
So, well, I also have the Theuba prophecy here, but um, so all the Pascagoula. So beyond a reasonable doubt, beyond Pascagoula, the road to Pascagoula. This is a really thick one. The road to
Wow,
Pascagoula,
that's very big one.
and then Calvin's
Wow.
story.
Calvin.
Why
Yeah.
would I be? Why would I be doing so much research on this case, Marco?
Yeah, why?
Why?
Because are you pretending to film about it?
Yeah,
This
I think
case?
I think I'm pretending.
Oh yes, for sure. You should, you know,
I should.
do.
I'm debating it.
There's a case is like it's more a story that happened like the US that I like a lot. That is the Moitman prophecies. You know the
Oh, the
Mothman,
Mothman prophecies.
Mothman.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
know.
That I met some of God, man, I met some of one of the people that was involved in the investigation. I can't remember now, but that is. What do you think about that one? Because
Oh, I believe I don't know if the movie. I remember I watched the movie with Richard Gere, and I got so impressive. You know, I don't know if this is true or not, but I believe because I remember I one time I had a book that had this story that the guy I don't remember the name of the guy who was investigating, but it was very compelling for me, you know. And I like this kind of cases, which is like chupacabras, like Mothman, and even Bigfoot too, you know. And I'd like
so
to know
then,
what do you think about this kind of cases?
well, you know what? I grew. So I told you I grew up next to. So I had my UFO sighting, right? And
Yeah,
I grew up in a very small town, and but
yeah.
it was a small town where everybody knew each other's names, that kind of thing. And so
No.
the road is haunted. So nuns hanged for witchcraft. What does that sound like? Well, you're
Yes.
so maybe you don't know, but the Salem witch trials in Massachusetts are something very well known. Salem, Massachusetts, where they hung, um, I believe it was over 80 people were hanged, tried after being accused of being a witch, and they were hanged. And so the haunted road led us to the the Salem witch trials. So we interviewed, all types of people at both locations. And then while we were interviewing people in Salem, we were interviewing this medium, and another self-proclaimed witch. And she told me that my story ended in Bridgewater. And I didn't really understand what she meant because I'd never heard of Bridgewater. When I looked into it, there's such thing as the Bridgewater Triangle. And
Wow.
all kinds of phenomena happen there, from Bigfoot sightings to UFO sightings to, um, satanic rituals, a lady in white, everything's been ghosts, you name it. So that story,
It's look. Yeah,
it,
sorry. It's look like the range, the Skinwalker Ranch region. Looks like you saying, right?
but and then that's exactly right, because it got me to thinking, all these places, right? All these places have atrocities committed by human beings on the land. So the nuns, they were hanged on the road, right? In
Yeah.
Salem, innocent people hanged for witchcraft, for greed and money and for land grabs. Then in Bridgewater, King Philip's War, and a lot of other stuff happened, involving the native tribe and the white man that colonized, this area. So,
Wow.
is the land holding some sort of freak, like bad voodoo? Like
Yeah.
like like if something bad happens on the land, does the land hold that memory? And
Oh, okay.
does that make sense?
Yes, it is make. Yeah.
So that would
Wow.
also hot, like, because we call them hot spots.
Yes, it
But
is.
what if they're just What if they're just spots that, things, the veil becomes thinnest, right?
Yeah,
That
exactly.
right? The line between worlds kind of gets thin, and
Yeah.
the realities start to blur, and maybe that's
Bro.
why some people see ghosts, just walking down the road or walking through a field, because it's like playing like it's an echo.
Yeah.
That's what
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, no, amazing. And how many people do you think, like, how many witnesses you met on this, like, who saw these strange things?
I have over 25 different interviews that I filmed for this movie.
Wow,
So
that's a lot of
so
people.
yeah, it's quite a few. And the first night that we were in Bridgewater, actually. Now I'm not much for like the paranormal. I'm
Yeah,
definitely more of a UFO guy, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah,
The Bigfoot stuff, the ghost stuff, I'm not exactly sold, right?
yeah,
I call myself a healthy skeptic when it comes to that kind of stuff. And the first night we were in Bridgewater, at the Bridgewater Triangle, we went to something called the Rainham Dog Track, and that night, some weird stuff happened, and I truly
whoa,
I can't explain it. I I don't
yeah,
want to ruin it for when it does come out, but
hmm,
I'll just say this: we were communicating with something.
yeah,
It like communicating,
hmm,
Marco, talking,
wow,
and
talking,
and then I remember at one point it felt like something was reaching up into my spine and tr- almost like trying to take me over. Like I couldn't move. So we were filming, and I was filming something that was happening, and all of a
yeah,
sudden, all of a sudden my body just couldn't move, and it felt like I was battling something to to remain in control of my body. Like something was trying to come through. Maybe I should have let it come through. But I was like fighting. I remember the weird feeling of like an internal battle happening. And the it was over that week that I became kind of more of a believer that there's something weird out there. It
wow.
was
You
scary as
never
fuck.
mentioned. I don't remember you mentioned that
I I
before.
I haven't told I have not told anybody this.
But just you or the people who were with you, they
They
felt
saw it.
something weird.
They all
Oh, they
felt
saw real.
they all felt it, and I mean, one of the guys, his name was Seneca. He's very intuitive when it comes. He seems to have this connection. Actually, my girlfriend seemed to have a very good connection with this spirit or whatever it was that we were talking to, because whenever she would be the one that was communicating, it seemed to start coming in a lot clearer. But also this other guy, Seneca, um, he that you could tell that there was something about him that was special in a different way, because it was almost like he could navigate, like, okay, we need to go this way. This is going to be better. We're going to get more action this way. He seemed to know, kind of like where. And then at one point, I remember we were walking, and it was a very rocky kind of, and it just rained, so there was a lot of water, and
Yeah.
him and I were in the back of the group, and it sounded like someone whispered in my ear, and he heard it too.
Wow.
So we both
Wow.
looked, and I go, "Hey, did you just say something?" And he goes, I remember him asking me, "No, I thought it was you." And we both just like, Marco, that was the weirdest fucking night, man. We were all, I was probably this close to calling it a night, and
Yeah.
they came up to us, the other two investigators that we were there with. They came up to us
Yeah.
and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna go out to the dog track. Do you guys want to come?" And I was like, it's really late. It's the first night. I want to just get some sleep. And then
Yeah.
something told me, you need to go. You
Oh my
need to
God.
go. So I almost didn't even go with them that night, but we did. And that's when all this crazy shit happened.
Oh, that was after then.
Yes, it was
Oh
after
my
that. Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. And
Wow.
it was a huge full moon that night.
Wow.
It was very,
So,
very weird.
how long did you guys stay there? Like
Hours. Oh,
hours?
in the Bridgewater Triangle?
Yeah,
Oh, I think we stayed for 3 or 4 days.
3 or 4 days. But this day, how long did you guys had this experience there?
Oh, that last that night, it was like
Yeah.
8 hours.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, we have it all on camera. Yep.
Oh, that's incredible. So, do
Yeah,
you have a plan to release like
we're
all
work.
these stories and
Yeah, we're working on because I have so many things going on right now, like
Mm,
with Congress. That is a little bit more time sensitive,
yeah,
right? I have to
yeah,
do that right now, or it's
yeah,
then I lose my chance. So
yeah.
with
So,
with
are you planning to go back there or like to try this
but I
experience again or
but I need here's the thing is we don't the footage that I have probably hundreds of hours of footage, but what I noticed when I went back and tried to start the editing process, we don't have like a main character. So we have to do a complete rewrite of the story. So we're going to be doing reshoots and we have to wait until, because you know how it is when you film, you have to match,
yeah,
you have to match it up
yes,
to the season. So we can't do it in the winter. Plus, we can't get to as the same spots and everything that we did go to. So we have to wait till at least the spring till we can start doing the reshoots so that all the material will look similar, you know. And we're gonna reshoot it, but I want to bring more people in because I want to do a complete. I want to put out the absolute best version of this no matter what. So even if it takes me 2 more years, I don't care. I'll wait.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, like James, he did when he started the seven actually the phenomenon. In the beginning was the 701 movie, and he took, I think, 7 years and a half, and then changed it to the phenomenon, and
Yep.
he took like over like 8 years
Yeah,
but I was great
but it was
one,
worth it. And
Yeah,
that's I as a filmmaker, I really want to emulate James in a way because of he won't put something out unless it's the best version and it will do
yeah,
justice to the story that's being told. Like Varginha, he didn't want it to just be a little clip inside the phenomena. No, he
yeah,
thought it deserved its own thing. I do have a question.
mm,
Now,
yeah.
I'm sure you've seen the program.
No, can you believe I was kidding. I was talking to him, say, "Hey man, come on, send to me," because here in Brazil we don't have yet. It's not we can't buy right now.
He he definitely he hit again. He hit again. Like it's a
Really?
thumbs up. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And now now Navy X, his testimony, the testimony from this film, I don't think is as I don't think it's as impactful as Military X is. And this
Yeah.
and some of the stuff that came out of Moment of Contact, because this film was like it was kind of bringing people up to speed with what's happening now, right? With the programs
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So um I but I had heard that he was going to include the Lonnie Zamora case, but it wasn't in the film. So now I'm wondering,
Oh,
did he feel the same way about the Lonnie Zamora case as he did about Varginha? He didn't want it to be maybe a small segment of this new film and thinks it deserves
yeah.
its own bigger film. So I'm kind of wondering what's going on with that.
Yes, me too. Now I'm curious too. I'm gonna ask him about it because I knew he had a lot of section of Zamora case, and I know he has more things, more
Yeah.
material.
What that told me is that I think James thinks it's worth its own story
Yeah.
because it is a
Yes,
huge case.
it is one of my favorite too. Actually, I have a
It,
lot of favorite
that
cases, but
yeah, I guess
you
I
know,
should say that now too, because that is one of my favorite cases because Lonnie is so credible and
yeah,
he never sought any attention. He never, you know, he he literally left his job so that the police
yeah,
department didn't face ridicule.
yes, yeah.
That's
And I felt so
crazy.
bad. That's crazy. I felt so bad for him and his wife, his family,
Yeah.
because I remember the um his wife, she was talking with James and like sh she got very impacted by the situation.
Right. And I can only imagine her husband, I mean, he changed after that, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
I that at least that's what I heard is he became a little bit more um um reserved. Like, he didn't really
Exactly.
yeah, he didn't want to talk
Yeah.
about it a lot. The Jason Sands testimony
Yeah.
in the program is some
Yeah.
of the most wild shit I've ever heard.
Really? Oh my God, I want to watch it
Ever,
so bad. One more.
ever heard. I mean, if this guy's telling the truth, then
Yeah.
holy. And I've been talking, I actually have a call with him on Sunday at noon, and I'm going to try to get him on the
Wow.
pot. Yeah, now because he kept telling me, he's like, I can't do your show until after the movie comes out. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so I'm trying to get him on the show, so I'm going to talk to him Sunday on the phone and try to get him to come on. But some of the stuff that he said in the movie, you just like, what the
Wow.
like?
Yeah.
Because he was at Nellis, like Area 51. I mean,
Wow.
this guy, and that is all. That's all we know. That's real. Like he was really
Yeah.
stationed there. It's all documented, but his story, that is a whole nother thing. But I don't know if you remember, but there was that video from the 90s that came out and it showed a craft on the Nellis test range. Do you remember that
No, I
video?
don't think I remember. I probably
Ooh,
I
you'll
saw,
remember it
but
when you
I'm
see
not.
it.
Yeah, for sure.
It shows a UFO kind of like what looks like it's like coming down or up over the
Yeah.
Nellis test range, and they're filming it, and it's like this little white, disc looking thing, or not disc, but it has like a weird shape, and supposedly Jason's incident where he saw a being in in a craft that looks very similar. He saw a being
Oh,
3 days later.
wow.
So
Really? Wow.
what I think was being implied is that the video that's in the public, they think is the same craft that Jason saw the being from, because
No.
when Jason saw the the being, he
Yeah.
also said he saw the craft in the distance, kind of like just sitting there. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it looked, I can't really describe how it looks because it doesn't look anything like anything I've ever seen before. So, it's very, very, very interesting testimony.
Wow. I wanna watch it so bad.
I know.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
bad.
I know. And I would love to James bring someday. I don't know if it's gonna be possible, but at the Chuck Clark footage, you know, the
I
video,
am
because I remember
desperate.
James, because like back to like I remember it was in 2011 when he told me for the first time that he just had it. Like, oh my god, I saw this video, it was incredible. And
Wait,
I was
he
like, oh
told
my
you that
god.
in
Yeah.
2011? He told you that?
Yeah, 2011 or 12 when he came for the first time. I think it was 2012. Yeah, because I remember we went to the Foz do Iguaçu UFO Congress,
Yeah.
and he was telling about this, and I thought, oh my God, that's that's probably $1 million
Why?
footage.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
Chuck is really weird about that,
Yes,
as you know.
it is.
Now imagine, how many people out there who are just like Chuck, who are who've been offered tons of money, right?
Yeah.
But just won't budge. Like,
Yes.
and it's what do you what like what is it benefiting anybody sitting
Exactly.
sitting in Chuck Clark's motorhome? Like
Yeah.
that and that video, by now it's probably, how it is. VHS tapes don't last long. So
Yes.
so I know Logan Paul took video of it, but
Yeah.
that's a video of a video of a video that's depleted and worn down. It's been played over 150 times, so the tape is getting worn. So by the time, if it ever does come out, it's probably not going to look anything like it did when James first saw it, which is, it sucks.
Yeah.
But that
Yes, for
Chuck Clark
sure.
footage, I can't. That says a lot, though, that he told you about that in 2011 or 12, because
Yeah.
that must have been right after he first saw it.
Oh, that's when he saw the first time, I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember the dates. 2000, because I remember he came here on the to we shoot, because we went to Varginha,
Yep.
and I'm not positive if it was 2011 or 12 or
Yeah.
13.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
even
matter.
in 13. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But I don't remember when he went there in the Rachel area, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the Rachel
Because,
area.
well, no, that just that shows me that he's absolutely telling the truth when he said it on Rogan about,
Yeah, yeah,
because on Rogan, when he starts to tell the story, he like pauses and he's like, you know what, fuck it, I can tell the story now. The guy hates me
yeah,
already, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
he offered him money like a bunch of times, and then Chuck was like, "If you ask me one more time, I will never talk to you again." And James did ask him again, just like
yeah.
James would, because James, he's always pressing,
Yes,
but
it
he's
is.
usually very good at getting it.
Yeah,
So
he's really good. I think he James convinced the military X to come. Be- because I remember I tried so bad, like for 10 months. And because James, he put in his soul, and the guy felt that, military
How did you?
X. And
How
it
did
was
you?
incredible.
I tell people all the time, Marco, how much of a genius you are because of that. Because
Oh,
you
no,
knew,
thanks.
you knew that you had heard that same testimony from the video from Uba. I'm sorry, um,
Yes, Ubirajara
I
and
can't say it,
Pacatini.
in Paccaccini. So
Yes.
you know it, but you never told Military X that you had seen it. So when he
Yeah,
starts
no.
giving you the details, you start going, is he telling the same story? But he
Yes.
doesn't know that I know that
Yeah.
I've seen him tell this story
Yeah.
before. So for you, he told the exact same story.
Yes,
You can
exactly the
confirm
same.
that.
I can confirm it. And
For you, for you, that moment must have been almost kind of a little chilling because then you
yeah.
realize, holy shit, this really happened. Do you think that it's possible that Brazil or some other country could disclose or come out and say that non-human intelligence exists? We know it. Bring out some evidence, right, that they have before the United States. Do you think that there's ever going to be a possibility of something like that with your country or any of the South American countries? They seem to be a little bit more open.
Yes, but unfortunately, I think they don't gonna do that before United States, because they are
Yeah.
very together on this.
One of the Have you heard the theory about the potential that they're searching for some sort of nuclear bomb?
Yes,
That
yes, I
scares the
heard.
shit out of me because because I don't know if other people know this, but there was apparently um uh, um material, nuclear material that went missing in New Jersey um at the beginning of November. The crate showed up and it was damaged and missing. It was missing. So,
Wow.
could those drones be ours? And could they be, some advanced technology that, searches for radiation or something? That, because there is a member of Congress who said that, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
that scares me when they start talking about things like that because I mean,
yeah,
people need to wake up because if one of those nuclear bombs anywhere, if it goes off, we go into the next phase of history because in the books they'll talk about the pre-bomb, the pre-detonation and the post-detonation. Because if a nuclear bomb is detonated anytime from here to whenever, there's a good chance
yeah,
that World War III starts and maybe it changes the face of the world by some stupid people nuking each other. That would be the end of the world, and it would happen just like that. It could happen just like that. And
yes.
why? Why do we live in a world that's like that? It's stupid.
It's so stupid, and we are in 2025, and it's still, the same. I mean,
It's
it's
primitive.
crazy.
It
Yeah,
is
it's primitive.
it's primitive. It's primitive. And you know how we know it's stupid? Because
Yeah,
the acronym
yeah,
for this whole thing is MAD. Mutually
yeah,
assured destruction. Mad. It is fucking mad that the whole world has been held hostage by Russia and the United States pointing weapons at each other, right?
Exactly.
The whole
So
world
stupid.
lives in
Yeah.
fear every day because it might be the last one, because some egotistic narcissist decides, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to end the world,
Exactly.
right? That's
Yeah.
that can't happen. And that's why I think these UFOs that have shut down now think about this. I'm going to a real deep level here, and I know we're really deep into this, but the United States in the Cold War wasn't necessarily what you would call the aggressor, right? They
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
they if you the world looked at it like the United States was the good guys, right? Russia, bad guy. So in the United States, they shut the nuclear weapons off, right? But
Yeah.
in Russia, who was the more aggressive one, they turned them
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
right? So
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
can see the difference in how the ETs sent the message, right? Because to the
Yeah.
Americans, they sent the message, hey, we can shut these off at any time we want. To the Russians, the message they sent was, this is how it feels when you turn these things on. This is how it
Perfect.
really feels, right? And it scared the shit out of them. So
Yeah.
maybe the whoever they are, maybe they're sending the message that needs to be sent individually, right? So instead of
Yeah.
showing up at the White House or showing up at the Kremlin headquarters in Russia, or the KGB headquarters in Russia, maybe they're going to the people who ultimately would be responsible, right? If the president calls, they would be the ones to actually do it. So why talk to the president when you could just scare the people that actually turn the weapons, and you could show them the truth so that when the president calls, they go, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I won't.
Yeah.
I will not end the world, because the thing is, nobody wants to die. Nobody.
Yeah.
We all have families. We all have something in this world that we love. Ultimately, that is what needs to prevail. Love is the only thing that can defeat evil. So, and it's the only thing that transcends time, space, everything is love, right? So I think
Yeah.
that speaks volumes. And I think that's why in a lot of these abduction cases, they come back with that message of love. And we need to love our world. We need to
Yeah.
love each other.
Yeah. I feel the same, and I agree with you, you know. And I would like to share here, it is like a news just to our audience, know a little bit more about these things that is happening in New Jersey, New York right now. It is a ABC live, and I would like to you comment if you can after
Yeah.
this
Look at it.
this.
Frustration building with each new drone sighting across the Northeast.
And seems like there's multiple drones all over this airport tonight, man.
The FAA forced to slow traffic at Stewart International Airport Friday night north of New York City because of multiple reports of drone sightings in the area. Mayor Eric Adams saying his team is taking the reports of drones in the region seriously.
We're going to have an immediate response. We're getting ready to look into some new innovative ways of, if need be, to take down drones with the proper permission from the FAA.
And New York's Governor Kathy Hochul saying this has gone too far, demanding that the Biden administration step in by directing additional federal law enforcement to New York and the surrounding area. In Ocean County, New Jersey, the Sheriff's Department launching its own industrial drone after numerous reports of sightings in the area. One deputy reporting roughly 50 drones coming in over the ocean.
The facts are that they are very big objects in the sky. The fact is nobody, that's just concerning to us, is nobody has seen them land or take off.
Reports of drones flying near a naval weapons station in New Jersey as well.
And I did talk to the commander there. His men are seeing it right there at the base. Are you kidding me? A munitions depot of that caliber, and these drones are hovering in close proximity to it.
So on a call with reporters, officials from a wide range of agencies, including the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, the FAA, a Joint Chiefs of Staff official confirmed those drone sightings at the naval station, but added that they do not believe that they are from a foreign actor or have malicious intent. The question people still have is, how do you know that? So for more on this, let's bring in Jeffrey Thompson. He is the CEO of Red Cat Holdings. The company supplies sophisticated drone technology to the U.S. military. Jeffrey, what a perfect person to have talk about this today. I'm sure your phone is blowing up and you're getting questions all about this. Right off the bat, I'll just ask you, because you're in this world, what do you think is going on?
Well, I'll say it's probably not our adversaries. I don't know, any adversary that would actually use proper FAA lighting to display where they are. It would be way too easy to shoot them down. They're slow moving, they're big. So I definitely take adversary off the table right away.
That's interesting. I don't believe I've heard that before, so thanks for that. When you look at these videos, and I'm sure you've seen what a lot of people have seen online, can you identify what type of drones these are and what they might be capable of? Because one of the things that people were initially concerned about is that they were, not the drone that you buy at Best Buy or something. It's the size of cars, some of these.
Yeah, they do look much larger than a consumer drone. Red Cat has two products. We've been accused all week of possibly being the culprit. We have the only commercial drone swarm available for 80 drones that can be launched by a single operator. We also have a FlightWave 130, which is a bigger drone that has very long flight time. And these drones that you're seeing in these videos have very long flight time. I can tell you right now, it is not us. Please stop calling me. So there's a lot of, that they're big, the fact that they're large, that's the only thing that seems really odd to me, as I'm actually trying to figure this out. But they should have remote ID if they're already flying with proper lighting. All drones are required by law to have a remote ID. And if you want to be a DIY investigator, you could always get a scanner product that's free on, free apps, and you could see if they're broadcasting down to you if you're near those drones, and you could become the investigator. I'm not close enough to where it's all happening, but it's pretty simple to see if they're broadcasting a remote ID that's required by law.
But you are close enough to the whole world that this is happening in, and what I'm hearing from you is what we are hearing from the federal government, that you're not worried that it's a foreign actor because they wouldn't come in using FAA lighting, but still we don't know what it is. It could just be regular folks operating.
Maybe they're trying to test them and try to stay under the radar by actually doing it properly according to the law. But when we do all of our mission tests, we do them at nighttime. Almost all missions by the U.S. military at nighttime, and we try to make it so you can't find us, can't see us, can't detect us. So there's a lot of controversy on why they would an adversary would actually be doing it the way they're doing it if they're trying to do the training to do some drills.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll shed some light on it, one interview at a time. Jeffrey Thompson, thanks so much for taking the time and for clearing up about your company.
Great.
All right.
Thanks for having us. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there is like a news from ABC,
So I think a good thing to take from that is the fact that he's absolutely right, in the sense that an adversary would not, like I said in the beginning of the interview, an adversary, they would not be putting these lights and saying, hey, here we are. Hobbyist droners or hobbyist pilots, they tend not to fly at night because at night people don't want to lose their drones. They don't want to crash them. They don't want to do that. And there's also more restrictions at night. If your drone's over a certain size, it needs to be registered with the FAA as like a large a large load, anything over 50 pounds. And these drones that we're seeing, like in the videos that we just saw, they're clearly bigger than the quadcopters that are sold at Best Buy. So these things would have to be registered with the FAA. The FAA is saying they have no record of them, but then the White House and the Pentagon are saying that they're flying legally. They're not. We just saw that they're not.
Yeah.
So there's
Exactly.
so much test from sources that are contradicting.
Yes.
There's even been sightings of these drones where they hover and then they'll come over, right? And they'll be like it looks like shining a light down, trying to like almost like how in Virginia that one couple says it was like it was doing a scanning pattern.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of people, a lot of residents are saying that is what it looks like. It's happening. They're doing like a grid pattern. So
Yes, it is. And yeah, and I saw on the news too, people was trying to shoot some drones too, or some, we don't know actually what it was,
well,
right?
that's also very
And
dangerous. And I do not recommend
yeah,
that. I do not recommend shooting
mhm,
at drones because the lithium batteries inside of them, you hit it the wrong way, it catches on fire, comes down on top of a house, catches the house on fire. A lot. So there even members of Congress have been saying on X, shoot them down over the ocean, not over. D-
yeah,
don't get your pistol
exactly.
and shoot them down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Tyler, what do you hope to achieve with future investigation and research on UFOs?
Well, I think like us all, I think in the future, what I want to do is, and I don't say this lightly. I say this because I really, truly, truly mean it. I I
Mhm.
I had that meeting with Nancy Mace after the December 13th hearing. I set that meeting up myself for myself to ask questions, to sit with her. But when uh, I when I was presented the opportunity, I took a knee because I was presented with Bob Salas and him being able to tell his story to Nancy Mace. Now, I could have been selfish and said, no, the meeting is for me, but I removed my ego and I let someone who's been trying to tell their story to someone that can do something about it for 30 years. We stand on the shoulders of giants, you know, investigators like Ube and um, all the Brazilian
Pacatini.
research, Paccaccini. I'm so sorry. Um, but
Mhm.
and then all the American researchers, all these great researchers who got us here to right now, we owe it to them to
Yeah.
do what's right and get to the next step, to the step where they admit that this is real, it's happening, and that 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 we're not crazy, right? None of these people are
Yes.
crazy. Um, and so I took myself out, and that's what's next for me is I want to do more of that. I want to facilitate actual change because I find myself in a position all of a sudden where I am able to talk to members of Congress. I'm able to talk to, um, certain witnesses, and I'm bringing them together, and that feels good. I'm making a difference.
Oh, yes, you are. And, I'm so sure that you are bringing more and more important information to the public, and I would like to thank you that you are doing this, like, is it's hard things,
Yes, it is.
to do. Yeah,
It is. It
because
is. You know,
yeah,
nobody, nobody got a
yeah.
meeting with Nancy Mace that day. Not anybody else. Because I mean, Danny Sheehan was there. James Fox was there. Jesse Michaels was there. Um, yes Theory, those guys were there. Um, I mean, literally, there so many big names were there, and they all kept looking at me like, "How did you get a
No,
meeting with Nancy Mace?"
yes, and for sure you are one of the biggest too,
Yeah,
and then for sure she saw you and she felt your soul, like
yeah,
that you were there to know the truth, and she felt that. That's what I think she did it, you
yeah.
know.
And
And
then I
and
got to
like
speak to Burchett. Um, I got to speak with Burchett, Luna, and Nancy Mace. So those
wow,
are, and then Burleson, Congressman Burleson. So now those people are very, very interesting people. Yeah. So more to come, hopefully.
yeah, for
And
sure.
we got to
And
bring you up here.
oh yes, I would love to. It's a dream.
We got to
Maybe.
bring you to the next hearing.
Yes, oh my God, I'm gonna want to watch it, like,
Trust me, it's
you know,
it's
be close to you guys. Yeah,
yeah. So I went. So I was able to walk, like, maneuver around the room. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
like James and them, they had to sit, but I was part of the press section, so I was moving throughout the whole time, and so I got to go in front of where so the camera shows the witnesses.
yeah.
I was where
Wow.
that camera was. So um, it
Yeah.
was crazy, man. It was crazy, but I needed what I needed that I didn't have that day was a second person to help me film everything. So
Oh yes, I bet.
next time I want to
Yeah.
bring someone with me who knows what they're doing. So, that's you.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh my God, it will be a dream,
Yeah.
for sure.
So, no, I'm
For
serious.
sure. Oh yes, I would love to.
Yeah.
Would you be so exciting?
Because now
You
I
know?
have now I have congressional credentials. So,
Yeah, that's amazing.
yeah.
And Tyler, what change would you like to see, like in the government's policies and regarding the transparency about UAPs?
Well, I think with the new administration coming in, um, whether you like them or you hate them, that remains to be. Listen, the United States spoke, the citizens spoke, they elected Donald Trump to be president. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing anybody can do about it, right? It is what it is.
Yeah,
Now, whether
yeah,
you love them or you hate them, I I don't tell people whether I go one way or the other. What I will say is this: I think some of the things that they're already talking about, and some of the people that are being appointed by Donald Trump and his administration, these are all people that have historically been for more transparency when it comes to government. Now, they're even creating a position for Elon Musk, Department of Government Efficiency, right? So I mean, that is all about transparency. It's eliminating waste in our government. And I guarantee that we're wasting money doing stupid stuff. And when he gets to those things, so these black budget programs that he's going to have to be read in on and deem whether or not they're able to continue and they're able to keep their budgets. I think that they may not be able to come out and tell us like, hey, this is exactly what the program is, this is what it does, but I think they're going to be less shy in saying, listen, there is a program for UFOs and it's in the Air Force, and we're either shutting it down or we're not, or we're gonna force them to meet with Congress every year to annually basically approve their budget so that the entire world gets to watch them say why they think they need to continue researching this. And, then we get to make a decision on whether they do or not. That's how it's supposed to work. But these black programs, these unacknowledged wave special access programs, they're operating without congressional oversight, and that is illegal. And I mean, we know from the Virginia case that the Americans clearly have pull in other countries, and they seem to be able to come in without jurisdiction and claim things um, and bring them back. And it, then we never hear about them again. And they're pigeonholing information that could change the face of history and the world as we know it. And it needs to
Yes.
stop. It's bullshit. It's enough.
Mhm.
We've had enough of the lies and the obfuscation and the let's slap a national security tag on everything. And Department of Energy, the Department of Energy, they're the ones that hold the secrets, man. They because
Yes.
they it's the Department of Energy and the Air Force. Why do you think those two have been so silent since
Yes.
2017?
Mm. Yeah.
Because they have the most to hide. I'll say it.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that we need to the change that I want to see is I want to see politicians, I want to see lawmakers, and I want to see citizens demanding transparency, not asking, but demanding it, because our government, I know that it's not like this around the world, but our government is made to serve the people. We are the
Yeah.
boss. And
Yeah.
the way that they keep us from figuring that out and working together is they keep us fighting each other,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yes, and I agree. I agree with you 100%, you know. Yeah.
because that I, I'll be honest with you, there there are racist people out there, but
Mm.
most people just want to get by. They just want to get through the day. They don't care if you're black, white, green, yellow, or blue. They really don't. Most people they're good people, right? But
Yeah.
the news amplifies everything. And it makes it seem like everything's a big deal and it's this and that. And then people get, up in arms, and then real bad stuff happens because of it. And that's how they keep us distracted, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
together they could not stop us.
Exactly. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, I would like to thank you so much for this conversation for right now, and I look forward another ones.
Oh, hell yeah.
And what we can wait on your very good channel, the Total Disclosure.
Yeah, so I today I just recorded with Chrissy Newton. She's a journalist and UFO researcher for the Debrief. She was part of that, the article. Well, she's part of the Debrief, which put out they broke the David Grush story. And I got to talk to her today. I have a bunch of stuff planned for the new year, having to do with more stuff with Congress, more official conversations that I think people are really gonna want to see. And we have so much in the works that I can't believe it's real life. So I can't say exactly because it would spoil some of it, but the podcast, the guests we have coming each week are amazing, but some of the videos that I have that I'm going to be working on in the future, I think they're going to be really, really groundbreaking.
Oh, that's amazing,
Yeah,
Tyler. And
I want to do more
thanks.
boots on the ground.
Yeah, for sure you will. Yes, and congratulations with all that you already did, for the subject. And I would like to thank you for your time for this conversation. And feel free to let us know about your social medias and how can we follow you in
Yeah,
your work.
so you can follow me on X or Twitter. I call it the same thing, but by searching Disclosure Pod, and then on YouTube, Total Disclosure. It's a red UFO. That's the logo. And then Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts can be heard. Give the show a listen and then review it, because that really, really, really does help, as any podcaster knows. Plus, it's free. So, it really gets us seen by, wider, larger audiences, so I can keep delivering the best content possible and continue traveling to these amazing places and putting these videos together.
Amazing. And thanks a lot one more time, Tyler Roberts.
Thank you so much, Margot.
Thank you. E vocês? Qual a opinião de vocês? Acreditam que tudo isso se trata de algo extraterrestre ou algo aqui da Terra? Deixe aqui nos comentários qual a sua opinião. Não deixe de se inscrever aqui no canal, deixar o seu like se você gostou. E aqui estou deixando algumas sugestões de playlist sobre o assunto. Um grande abraço a todos e até o próximo vídeo.